Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Friday Tarot Chat. My name is Sadhana. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am an intuitive reader and healer, and I'm here most Fridays sharing cards and chatting about all the things I love about the tarot, how I work with the tarot, and so forth. And it's a great opportunity for you to ask questions of me as a reader or as a intuitive healer. So welcome. Thanks for being here today. Hello to Dee and Andrew. We are going to actually practice a spread together today. I am not doing live readings. That is my Tuesday segment. And I'm going to share with you a spread that I created for this day, for Samhain this year. And I thought also I would share with you a few decks that I recommend for connecting with the ancestors. So I've got a few things that I would like to cover. So hopefully you can. So as you are getting ready to participate today, I want to encourage you to sort a tarot deck. So sort a tarot deck into majors, court cards, and minors. And it's entirely up to you whether you want to sort the deck into and separate the suits as well too. So you could have the 40 cards together, or you could have them separated into suits. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I just need to pull out my disc court cards so that I have mine already when I do my reading. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to shuffle all these courts. So hi, Jen. Lovely to have you here. And Joseph, Diana, namaste. Welcome, welcome to Andy. Alrighty. This is I've done quite a few videos on past life readings, but I've never done one that actually specifically focuses on ancestral work. And with the thinning of the veil in the Northern Hemisphere, moving into the energy of Samhain, I thought it might be, good to share with you something I like to practice. Connecting with the ancestors has always been to me an energy of support. And even if I'm not aware of the specific ancestors who are present, I have often found myself in situations where I feel overwhelmed by their presence. And this could be babies that I've lost in miscarriage. This could be elders from multiple cultures and generations all over the world. It could be ancestors that I'm familiar with in this lifetime that have crossed over. And their presence always seems to come forth just at the perfect time. And when and it's really funny, I can feel the left side of my face lighting up right now. I'm not quite sure who is here, who is with me, but when my left side lights up, it tends to be feminine energy. And because it's my face, I almost feel as if someone is stroking my face. It's really kind of beautiful. I feel blessed that my physical empathy is so strong, the way that I sense things in the body. Sometimes it's not so convenient and so lovely, but for the most part, it's pretty sweet. Okay, Soul, hi, welcome to you. Donna, namaste. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so I'm going to just talk a little bit about decks and connecting with decks for ancestral readings. And I really hope you as well too can share some of your favorite decks for this work. One of the decks that was sitting in my US PO box that has made its way to me in Canada is the travel version of the Dust to Onyx Tarot. This is one particular deck that is really good for doing ancestral work. Now, it might be a question here about the fact that I'm a white woman. Sorry, I've got hairs all over me. And what in the world would a white woman be working with the Dust to Onyx Tarot for? I have to tell you that there is an energy in this deck. Oh, Andrew sees an entity. You see a short, white-haired elderly woman holding a pink purple flower to you. Ah, so Grandma Ida, perhaps Grandma Ida. She loved to garden. She loved to garden, and she was 5 foot tall, about quite heavy set, and I'm gonna say severe looking, right, Grandma? So yeah, this is a really interesting question. Why would a white woman connect with this deck for ancestral readings? There is a power in this deck for me, particularly in the court cards. And when I read Courtney's description, so here is Young Blade. I'm going to talk about the difference between these two decks in a second. And there's something really, really great that I love about the travel edition. There's something kind of special with that edition. I had chills, deep, deep, deep chills. I don't know. It's not just the court cards. There's something about the faces in this deck that make me feel seen and heard and recognized. There's several different movies that I have watched, filmed various places on the African continent, and my heart feels so full, so very, very full. It's very, very hard for me to describe. So if that feels strange to, oh, and this death card, I absolutely love this death card. If that feels strange to anyone who in this lifetime was born Black, I would love to have this conversation, because to me, the color of this, it's really a difficult, it's so much more than the color of the skin. And yet at the same time, we carry in our DNA the ancestral lineage of the pain and the aches and the scars that go back through the history that we are aware of. So I don't know, it's a really interesting conversation. But this is a deck that I feel a lot of, that makes me feel deeply compassionate. And so if it's not a deck you've ever touched or worked with, I want to encourage you to explore it, and take your time with it. It's very, very powerful. Anyway, in my impatience, I purchased the full size cards because the travel edition was sitting for me in the US, and I recently acquired the travel edition. And so very briefly, I just wanted to tell you the difference between the two decks, and in case this is not a deck that you already have. It's the same quality GSM, so you can see the same thickness of the cards. The gold is slightly different, but that might just be the lighting. They are both equally challenging to riffle shuffle. The colors are beautiful and brilliant in both. The printing is super high quality. The backs of the cards are the same back. And so the only thing you're looking at is difference in size. So the travel edition is like a poker size card, right? Fits in the hand. And the full size deck is an oracle size. So if I'm comparing this to the Weaver's Oracle, which is another deck that I really recommend, this is the full size on the, oh, I'm gonna have to back off. Sorry, guys. There we go. There's the Weaver's Oracle, which is enormous, and there is the Travel Edition. And if I take a regular size tarot card and put it in here, then you can see what that looks like. The thing that I was really excited about with the Travel Edition, put these back where they're supposed to go, is this extra. So this is onyx, right? Dust to onyx. And in this deck, you get a scrying card, which is really kind of cool. And you do not get the scrying card in the full-size edition, at least the version that I have. There is one other deck that has a mirror card in it. I believe it is the, what is the deck? It's the Gene Keys deck. So it's the one that is, it's by Rosie Aronson. I can't remember the name of the deck, and it has a mirror card in it. That's also really, really powerful. That is a deck that I do work with when I'm doing past life readings. And today we're not focused on, today my angle is a slightly different. So yeah. In the description box below, thanks to everybody coming in. Hi, Elizabeth, welcome. Let me, if I've missed anybody, I'm trying to keep up with you as well too as you arrive. In the description box below, I have listed a whole slew of decks that I feel work really well with ancestral readings. Before we get to the spread today, I just want to, if you didn't hear me at the beginning, go ahead and start sorting a deck into majors and minors and pull out the court cards. It's entirely up to you if you want to separate the minors as well too, or you can have all 40 of the aces to tens mixed together. Okay. Hi there, Selena and Tina. Namaste. Welcome. Okay. I'm wondering, maybe I put it away. Maybe I put it away and I totally forgot about it. But I'm really excited that this has come back to my attention again, because I think this is an important card to have to go with the energy of this deck. This deck, because the fact that it's onyx, right? And onyx is such a beautiful stone to scry with. Little bit different energy than obsidian, but I'm not going to talk about crystals today. I wanted just to mention that I edited the list below in case you saw the list yesterday when I posted the video. This morning I was doing a reading with Sarah Jarman, and I forgot about using pagan other worlds with ancestral readings. And while the intention of our reading this morning was not an ancestral reading, what came through to me was an ancestral message, and it felt really, really relevant to Sarah's culture. And in choosing a deck for ancestral readings, I think the most important thing is to connect with the energy of the deck and to feel like there's a pull, right? There's a heartbeat there's a heartbeat that speaks to you. There's so many decks that you can work with for ancestral work. And I have always, when I'm doing ancestral work or past life readings, I've always used the Weaver's Oracle. Now, whether I'm doing a reading with a man or a woman, there's always a deep message with the Weavers. So this is one that usually stays in my pile. I mentioned the other day that I tend to keep my decks sorted into groups, and this is one that I almost always pull when I'm doing past life work. And if nothing else, this is going to pick up on the mother archetype for if I'm doing a reading for a guy, right? So it's such an incredible deck to work with. And Just looking at these cards really makes me want to pull one of these today. So I might just do that. Brady Tarot feels ancestral for Andrew. Good to know. Okay. And thank you for sharing, Andrew. I appreciate all of you. You know, there's many of these cards I have never pulled. In the box below, I suggested a few different oracle decks beside the Weavers. This is another one of my favorites that I have out when I'm doing ancestral work. I really like this deck. I like the combination of people cards as well as, I don't know, the other ones, the ones that don't have humans on them. This is the Divine Muses Oracle. And if you want a deck that isn't quite so expensive, sometimes indie decks are, cost a little more to get to you. Vintage Wisdom Oracle is also excellent, and it's another one that I definitely work with. And the thing about this deck is we do cross quite a few cultures. In the Ancestor card, you see a lot of different faces and places. And the Indian faces in this deck tend to come up for me quite a bit, which is really really powerful. The internal student is an Indian as well too. Elizabeth, what if you don't know your ancestors? You see, the thing is, oh, you've got lots of Hannah, look at the description box below and see if you have any of the decks in the description box below, because there's a whole bunch of them that really do this kind of work well. I'm not going to be focusing on oracle decks in the reading today, but I just wanted to share with you, because I think after doing an ancestor reading, pulling an oracle card to kind of wind things up, tie things together, or bring in a grounding energy can be really powerful. Yeah. Okay, so this is another favorite of mine, and I'm just going to put that to the side. The deck on the table is Divine Muses Oracle, and it is in the description box below. And then I want to go to Elizabeth's question, which is a really interesting question. So if you don't know your ancestors, you aren't aware of your bloodline, your family tree, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Elizabeth. I have blood ancestors, some of whom I'm aware of. When I was reunited with my birth mother, how old is my son? My son is 28. So I was reunited with my birth mother when I was pregnant with my son. And so I have slowly learned about my blood lineage. I also have the adoptive family that I grew up with, and all of their family trees. And I have done quite a bit of past life work. I am aware of lineages in various countries around the world that I'm deeply connected with. And so I feel when I call in the ancestors, I'm calling in the ancestors in all directions of time, across the whole globe. And I never quite know who's going to show up. Sometimes I feel very protected by my Indian lineage. Sometimes I feel that those in this lifetime that have crossed over are right here. And Elizabeth, there are so many people out there, so many spirits supporting you and standing beside you. It doesn't matter if you know who they are. They are with you. And the reading that we're going to do today will work beautifully regardless of whether you are able to recognize them or not. Okay? Tarology by Anna. Hello, welcome. Okay, any other questions before we get to the spread? Thank you. That's really good advice, Donna. Really good advice. So for Asian ancestry, I get that. It's really hard. We have very few tarot decks that do a good job with that. The Marielle Tarot might, I mean, I want to say there's a twinkling of Asian ancestry in the Marielle Tarot, but you're right. It's hard. That is probably the most under acknowledged race in the tarot. And I'm wondering, in Spirit Keeper's Tarot, if there's an energy of that, because Benabel Wen's ancestry is going to have a variety of Asian energy. So I don't know, maybe working with that deck is going to bring that through. I have ordered the Spirit Keepers 3, which isn't in my hands yet. I know I've seen some people walk through it already. So I can't comment on that, but I have a feeling that deck might do the trick. Oh, Andrew, that is a really loaded question. I have not even contemplated that. So I will let you answer that question in the chat with anyone else. Oh, that's wonderful. So Donna has suggested a deck, which is the Chinese Tarot by US Games. Good to know. I will definitely look that up. Hello, Joel. Hi, welcome. Is there anybody else that I have missed? And so what about the Tarot of Saint Croix? Tarot de Saint Croix, Tarot of Saint Croix. That might be an interesting deck to work with Caribbean lineage. I forgot about that one. I'm definitely I should add that one to the description box below. Okay, cool. All right, I would like to share with you this spread that I've created. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the spread, and then we're going to actually practice it, okay? So let me go to here. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. So I will be sharing with you the cards, and I'm going to work with the Marielle today. In this spread, and I arranged the cards with 2 and 4 because that's going to work better on my camera. But I was thinking that I wanted to have one of those two. I wanted to have the 1 and 2 kind of on top of each other. It felt like that the 1 card and the 2 card, I don't know. To me, it matters where things are on the table. And so I want you to work with whatever shape feels good for you. The preparation for the spread is to definitely separate out the majors and the court cards. And then with the other 4 cards, you have 2 choices. One, separate out the suits, or you can shuffle all 40 cards together. And I think I am going to shuffle all 40 cards together. We're going to look at the, so I'm going to take that off. I can pop that up and down if you need. And then I'm going to go to the one at a time, do the spread one at a time. Okay. And I want to talk about these positions a little bit because how I approach this work may be a little different than how you have approached this work in the past. So I'm got the majors here. I'm looking for an archetype or a pattern. And I wrote here, what archetype or pattern in my ancestral lineage am I called to heal? I have learned through various teachers that, and I believe in my blood and my bones, that we carry in our DNA the karmas, the pain, the patterns of our ancestry. And so sometimes the reason that we feel so emotional around an injustice, or, sometimes we get in a situation where we can't explain why in the world we would feel a deep connection. I believe it's because it's carried through our DNA. Our physical composition cannot be, I believe, cannot be dissected from our spiritual composition. And we are privileged to have an opportunity to incarnate into a physical body so that we can carry on with our soul work. This work that we do, this healing work that we do, is not only for our own soul, but for everyone that we have been connected with in all directions of time, through our bloodline. And there's different kinds of karma and different kinds of pattern that we have. I have learned that we have geographical karma, we have family patterns and issues, and we also have our personal stuff. And so today, what we're looking at is a pattern that is repeating through our family line, through our family lineage. And so go ahead and take the majors, and as you shuffle and contemplate this first question, be really open to the concept of all directions of time, and really invite into your heart the energy of your work, your healing being greater than just you. This is really about stepping into service. It's about stepping into a place where your pain becomes a little bit less because you're doing this for your great grandson. Perhaps you're doing it for, an ancestor multiple generations away or thousands of years away. Perhaps there's been a pattern that is carried on for 5,000 years through your female line that still exists to this day. And what if you had the power to begin to shift this? So when I do this work, I think big. And it makes me feel less small. It makes me feel more connected. Okay. All right. So if you have drawn your major, you can go ahead and post it in the chat if you like. Actually kind of nervous. I never know what's going to come through in these readings. Interesting. This is not what I was expecting. So minus the star. Minus the star. I really feel like this entity in this picture is it feels deeply connected to the High Priestess energy. She is walking with the flames, through the flames. And I'm feeling the energy of transformation here. Walking bravely in the path of transformation. Mhm. It's beautiful. Oh, hi, Rochelle. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your cards, everybody. Okay, so just have a really good look at the unique energy of the archetype and lean into the artwork that you have drawn. Okay, and just take a few breaths, right? And see if you can get out of your analytical head and really allow the card to speak to you. And feel this in your heart. Feel this in your heart. Okay. And then take the court cards in your hand. I'm going to put those to the side. Take the court cards. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this because the court card is kind of a loaded bunch of information. I feel that the court card has a bunch of layers, and this one may reveal to you the ancestor that is hanging most closely by. And that what they are emanating is the energy that they want you to possess so that you can carry on with this healing journey. Okay, so there's something about the court card that is going to help you work better, stronger, more passionately, more courageously with this archetype. And it may be a court card that you don't associate with it all. And so this is, at 1/16 of an aspect of yourself that needs at this time to shine through. Okay. So go ahead and draw your court card and really be open to the multiple layers of this. And if it feels like you would benefit from recognizing this court card as an ancestor in spirit, then go ahead and identify them and name them and thank them for their presence. But that's not completely necessary. What is more important is that you understand that this court card is shining through for you to really embrace the qualities, both the light and the dark qualities of this court card, to deepen your work. Okay. So what I would like you to do right now is to make a short list of both the positive, the light, and the shadow qualities of this court card. So Tina is using the Vision Quest Tarot. The big medicine wheel is the world. If that's the deck that you're using. I have been on Earth for a long time, Donna. I'm aware of at least 5,000 years, if that's possible. Yeah, so that goes back to 3000 BCE. Okay, where are we in the chat here? And the thing that I feel most support with this court card is that she, I feel she, so this is the water, right? This is the water queen. She understands the depth of me, the depth of my ocean. And she supports me on my path. And to me, it actually makes me want to cry. There's so much water here. I've had 2 teary mornings in a row, and this feels amazing. This feels amazing. It lets me know that I'm going in the right direction. It feels really, really good. And I also like the fact that the Queen of Cups may connect me to a lineage of healers and intuitives of which I'm not aware. Okay, so lots of King of Pentacles coming up. So King of Pentacles, right? King of Pentacles is the 78th card in the tarot. It's the last card if you read the deck that way. So there's something about the degree of integration in that card. It's a very, very powerful court card. Okay. All right. So for the next step, you have a couple of choices. Okay. And you need to decide right now if you're going to shuffle the rest of the 40 cards together, or you're going to do it suit by suit. So let me just go through the intention of the spread, and I will just a sec, take off the overlay, go back to the banners. So the third card definitely is going to relate to wands and action. Okay, that's a how question. The fourth card connects to the highest frequency of swords. You do not have to separate the cards. These meanings can just be the underlying spread position. Okay. The next one connects to your emotional intelligence. It connects to the depths of your water, your subconscious. And I really like, it's some tooting my own horn. I love the way that I wrote this one down, right? Instead of asking a question, I'm asking the card to describe, right? So I'm asking the card to deliver a message, which is a really kind of a different way to put it for a position. And then the sixth card is, it's about the integration of the elements. How might I consistently show up in the world, healing this pattern for generations in all directions of time? So this is about showing up, being present, being here now, doing your work, right? It's a big, big heavy hitter card. So I am going to shuffle the whole deck together. I'm not going to separate the suits, and I have separated them. So I need to do a good shuffle. So you decide what you're going to do. And right now we're going to focus on the how. How might I begin to shift this pattern? This is about stepping into action. This is about doing something, not just talking about it, right? This is about taking your place, burning through. So the whole idea with this position is the strength, the fire is about, it's also associated with karma yoga and seva and so forth. You know, we have to do something to break the pattern. Okay, so this is about stepping forth, stepping up. All right, Andrew, you have a message for me 4 generations back for healers and intuitives. And there may be an Irish connection there, but I'm not sure. Okay. So I'm shuffling 40 cards. How might I begin to shift this pattern? And if you're ready, you can go ahead and post your how, your action. So maybe type in the chat action and then put a colon, you know, like this is my action. And then name the card that is your action. And really feel like, okay, in typing this in the chat, this is my commitment to healing this pattern. Right? This is your will. This is you being the superhero. My goodness. Every time this comes up. Okay. There is a pattern for me where a baby was murdered. A baby was killed because I made a poor decision. And I don't know if I've shared this past life before. But to me, what I'm picking up on here is the mother archetype. This is the nurturing of the baby. You know, I must continue to nurture my babies. I must continue to nurture. And when I say babies, you know, babies is a big word here. But there's definitely a nourishing energy. And the fact that, you know, this is the red horse. This is about actively nourishing. Great. So let's go back. Nice. Action. Oh, wow. You guys are so good here. Okay. So Rachel, 8 of Wands. Tammy Ann, hello, namaste. 2 of Coins. So what I would like you to do is to write down now after your action. Really look at the artwork and say to yourself, this is how I need to step forward. This is how I can break this pattern. And you might not have actually figured out quite what the pattern is, but one of the ways to start to shift the pattern is to do this, whatever your this is. And so for me, I must continue to commit to nourishing and nurturing and caring and allowing the exhausting saturation, fulfillment, culmination of emotions, right? That is my work. That is my path. I must continue to stir and to help people to bring their ocean to the surface. Okay, so you make a statement for yourself about that. Okay, so the next one connects us to the wisdom, right? The highest frequency of the suit of swords. This is, so we're looking at, so we've kind of got a tetragrammaton spread down at the bottom, right? We have wands, swords, cups, and pentacles, right? So we're looking at down at the bottom, we're going to have to look at the whole picture at the end. So card number 4 is, what do I need to know to better understand this pattern? Okay, so this is the wisdom. This is the wisdom of the ancestors whispering to you a piece of knowledge. Okay, so you can type in a chat, my wisdom, or you want to use the word knowledge, and then let us know what your card is. What is your wisdom card? What do I need to understand? What do I need to know to shift this pattern? Wow. Okay. So for me, this particular card, it represents the central pillar in the tree of life. It represents the ascension of Kundalini energy. It is about activating the Shushumna Nadi, the central Nadi. And so I'm going to go back to a piece of knowledge that I am working with. There's a book specifically, and this would also be a good place to bring in a book. So if you have a reference book that you might want to jot down here, there might be some book knowledge as well too that can help you on this journey. And for me in this position, the book is, I can see the cover of the book. It's a book about Shakti, and it's a book about the ascension and then the descent of Shakti energy. And for me, this is about that journey and reading more of those scriptures so that I can understand that better. And then go back to the first archetype or the pattern that you drew, the major arcana card, and see if you can draw a link here. What's going on here? Okay. Now, as you continue to shuffle, where we're going next is something that I firmly believe in. Okay. And I hopefully can articulate this well enough. Emotions, right? Emotions. Emotions are potentially energy in motion. And what happens sometimes is the emotions tend to stagnate and they can linger in the body. They can cause pains and aches and cancers and all kinds of things. And so we need to keep the energy flowing. And one of the biggest parts of the transformation of energy and motion is the constant flow out, the release of energy. So as we tap into this fifth card, I want the card to describe the emotions to be released and transformed. Which emotions are in my highest to let go of at this time in order to heal this pattern? Okay? And so in the chat now, I would like you to type release, and then a colon, and then you can type what it is you are releasing. What is it you're letting go of in order to transform? You are releasing in order to transform. Oh my goodness, I have cards flying everywhere. 3 very heavy hitter cards. I'm going to reshuffle. Probably one of them will show up again. Okay. And also, if you feel compelled afterwards, you can go to the Facebook group, which is linked down below as well too, and you can post your spread. You can post a picture of your spread. You can post some thoughts on this work that we're doing. Okay, so my release, I can feel like my heart just went into a big knot, and I know that my pattern, still one I'm working with apparently, is one of grief, and grief lingers in the heart space. Okay. This is really interesting. Four of Discs. Very interesting card to show up in this position for me. And I really need to think about this. Oh, Sarah, you had the same card. Okay. There is a real solid energy here. In my card, there's a path. And there's a path that continues to go forward. This is a hard one. What is it about this card that I need to release? Well, it's so funny. You know what I'm seeing in the distance is Mount Kailash, which is on my bucket list. So maybe this is about releasing, knowing where I'm going. That can be one thing. I'm definitely going to have to let this spread marinate a little bit. Okay, so D is releasing the Nine of Cups. Elizabeth, Seven of Cups. Oh, lots of cups. Tina, Eight of Water. Donna, Six of Cups. Okay, lots of cups. Isn't that okay? Maybe those people have separated into piles. Okay, so the question here is, and I want you to think about this in a full sentence. I am releasing this in order to transform the pattern. So how might, and you can journal about this later, how might letting go of this help you, right? Help you to carry on with this action. This is your action, right? So in letting go of this, you'll be much better able to carry on with the first card. Okay. All right, now let's go to the last pile. And so let me talk about this one a little bit. This one is about being here. This is a pretty important card. So when we're doing healing work, sometimes we tend to we forget to show up. We're busy in our spiritual work, but the truth is we need to be here. We need to have our feet on the ground. And so this is another how question. And also there's a big word of this suit is integration. And there's an aspect of integrating all of the suits in the energy of this card as well too. Okay. So repeat the question to yourself as you're shuffling. How might I consistently show up in the world, healing this pattern for generations in all directions of time? This is about presence, integrity, integration. I love that word, integrity. And then we're going to pick up this card. And so for the chat for this one, what should we use? I want to say show up, I want you to commit here to showing up. Or you could put B. You could type B. That's shorter. You pick a word for this last card. How am I going to show up? Oh my goodness gracious. This is not how I want to show up. Okay. This card is about concentrated force, concentrated energy. It's about focus. It's about inexhaustibility. And if I'm going to show up like this, I'm going to tell you one thing, that my self-care has got to go. My self-care has got to go way, way up. If I need to show up with this much focus and this much passion in order to fulfill this, yeah, my self-care is going to have to go way, 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 way up. Okay, so what I want you to do is to hold up your court card. Hold up your court card and your show up in the world card and have a good look at them. And ask yourself how this ancestor wants you to show up in the world. And how might these qualities of this court card help you to show up? Okay. Isn't that great? It's really good when you can see patterns like that. Oh, and I like D, stand up, stand up. Okay. Absinthe Eve. Hello, hello. I didn't see you come in. Welcome to Absinthe Eve. Okay. Have a good look at the spread. Have a good look at the spread. Leave it on your table. Leave it on your table and continue to just reflect. Reflect, reflect. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm just going to turn the cards so I can have a look at them. So what I am going to do is I want to pull an oracle card. I'm going to pull something from the Divine Muses to tie this together. The other, you know what I didn't mention is that the roots and wings. Think about the title of this deck. Just the title of this deck feels like it. Actually, maybe I'll pull from this deck. Maybe I'll pull from this deck. If you feel compelled to choose an oracle deck to tie your reading together or to help delineate, clarify the theme in general, the work that lies ahead. And then we have one more step. Okay, one more step. Okay, I got the inner vision card. Wow. Okay, so the last step. Feel free to, if you're drawing an oracle deck, let us know what deck that you are drawing from. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Come to your breath. And feel your feet on the floor. Feel your seat in your chair. If you feel like lying down, lie down. Let the whole body just melt into your sofa, into the floor. And then let go. Let go of the spread. Let go of the message and just be here right now. And feel the presence of your ancestor or ancestors protecting, supporting, loving, encouraging you on this journey. Keep your internal gaze still at your eyebrow center. Breathe softly. Feel your skin. Feel your skin over your whole body. Know that the skin is connected to the heart space. And become aware of any parts of the skin that feel as if they're being touched. Any parts of the skin that are lighting up. Does that part of the body connect to a particular chakra or an organ? Does it have a message for you? And again, feel the exhale breath. Allow the whole body to melt a little more deeply into the chair, into the earth, whatever is below you. Soften the physical body and know that you are held. Know that you are held in the arms of the supernal mother, the great divine feminine ancestor of us all, who is always here, holding us and supporting us. Whether you are aware of ancestors through your lineage or not, she is always here. And so place one hand on your heart, both hands on your heart. You might want to bring your hands into prayer. And shift into the mood of gratitude. Gratitude, whatever you're feeling grateful for at this time, allow that to come forward. Fill your heart with gratitude. And name that gratitude. Say that gratitude aloud. And repeat it 3 times. I am grateful for. And then open your hands and offer this up to all beings in all directions of time. May they know this love. May they feel your gratitude. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and gently open your eyes. Okay. So thanks. Thanks for being here today. I hope this spread helps to deepen your connection with your ancestors and perhaps place the spread on your altar or light some candles around it as we move towards Samhain and allow its energy to continue to, rise out of the cards. I encourage you to leave it out for a little bit. And if you want to tweak the questions or write something, I would love to hear from you and in the Facebook group and to share what your experience was. It was beautiful. I appreciate everybody who's contributed to the chat. I'm going to be back on Sunday Sunday evening. And we're going to have a little bit of a Samhain celebration, and two of my friends who are in the southern hemisphere, of course, are moving into Beltane. They're not in the season of Samhain, but they've agreed to participate in this. And I think it's really interesting that we will be able to weave together the ancestral connections of Samhain and Beltane. So yeah, so that's going to be 8 p.m. Pacific. So it's really, really late for you, UK and the European gang, but hopefully there'll be a few North Americans hanging out with us on Sunday evening. Yeah. Enjoy your weekend and be safe, be kind to one another, and may you feel the love and support of your ancestors always. Namaste.